Hi everyone, it's Rachel from Sweet and Simple Home, and today I need to share with you everything that's been going on in my home and with my family. Late Monday night, and actually technically early Tuesday morning, we woke up to a pretty substantial flood in our basement. The weather here in the Pacific Northwest has turned quite sour. There has been blizzard upon blizzard upon blizzard, and we had a pipe burst in our basement from being frozen, even though we had space heaters pointed at the wall with plumbing and running, and we did everything right, slow drips, everything that you're supposed to do, and it still burst. And the pipe that burst was actually for the old fridge that was there when we first moved in. It was for an ice maker, which if you watch my videos, we don't have that anymore. So the pipe had been capped but was still there, and it burst and flooded our basement so badly. I woke up at 1:20 in the morning to the sound of what I thought was a toilet flushing, and I was concerned because usually if my kids are flushing the toilet in the middle of the night, it means that somebody threw up. So I ran downstairs thinking I was going to deal with a kid being ill, and all I did was turn the corner and saw at the bottom of the stairs so much water. Probably a good 3 to 4 inches at the bottom of the stairs. I just screamed to my husband, "Flood! Bad!" He ran out to the street. He's in shorts and a t-shirt in the middle of a blizzard. He ran out to the street to try to turn off the water that's connected to the water main that's at the street, and it was frozen shut. So we called 911 and they sent someone from the city, and Lord bless them, they came at 1:30 in the morning and helped us turn the water off to our home. In the meantime, I was downstairs unplugging things that were plugged in, like the space heaters, like a little fan that we had going for white noise, and Clive walked out of the boys' bedroom, and it just hit me like how dangerous the situation was, that there were things plugged in, there's a risk of drowning, risk of electrocution, and then the water started pouring in from the ceiling. And it was like, oh my goodness. And thankfully at that point, because the water had been shut off, there wasn't a lot that came through the ceiling, but it was coming through the light fixtures, and there was so much in the ceiling already that it poured through there for a while. And I was just focusing on getting my kids out, get my kids out. Thankfully, my parents live in town, and I woke my dad up, and we were able to stay with them for a week. We got back into our house last night. The cleanup process was done enough to move back in, but it is not done. The fans they had running to like dehydrate and remove all the moisture from the carpet had been running for I think 5 days at that point, and so everything was dried out enough for us to come back in and set up the beds for the kids. It's a little bit nerve-wracking for me, just thinking about like, what if I hadn't woken up, what if Clive got out of bed and fell and drowned. Like, there's so many like what ifs that I have to stop my brain from doing, because that wasn't if that didn't actually happen. Like, God protected my children and woke me up, I believe, because I was out so hard, and then to be awake and realize there was this horrible thing happening in my basement. It has happened to several other people in our town because of how severe the weather has been, and I'm so grateful that the people who work with our insurance company are so hardworking. They one of the men said that he'd been working for 20 hours straight, and he's like, it's just, we got to do it. I'm making overtime, and it's good for my family, and I'm helping people in my community. So anyway, there were a handful of other people this happened to, and oddly enough, also their ice maker pipe. So let me go get the pipe and show it to you. Okay, here is the culprit. As you can see, this was all burst. This is the piece that the plumber gave to my husband sort of as a memento, which is kind of twisted and sick, but it is somewhat fascinating to see, the damage there, and that flooded our basement. It could have been a lot worse. We lost quite a few of the kids' things, some books, some toys, some dress-up clothes, my Shark robot vacuum, things like that. And our insurance adjuster was on his way to come help us when another blizzard hit, and he couldn't even get over the river because they had shut down all the highways getting into our little town out here in the middle of nowhere. So he can't come until Friday. And there's forecasted to be another blizzard today, so we'll see if that even happens. Alright, we had a contractor come today. The plumbing has been fixed. I will say that I did have quite a bit of anxiety last night just trying to get to sleep and getting up quite a bit to check on my children. That's where we're at. That's why I've been very flaky on social media, is because we're going through all this. And just doing our best to kind of hold some semblance of order for our family, continue to go to school, continue to go to work. We're still going to stick as best as we can to our no spend. This has only brought to our attention how important it is to, you know, get your finances in order, because emergencies, it's not an if they happen, it's a when they happen. And we will have a deductible to pay for our insurance, and it's expensive. And so we're going to stick to our no spend month. I'm going to keep trying to stick to my low grocery budget, and I actually will show you what we got at the grocery store today. And hopefully for the rest of the month I won't have any more videos like this where I'm like, you guys, it's crazy. And hopefully we can get back to normal a little bit. So anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. Thanks for those of you who have been praying for us. I did post on Instagram and on my community page that we had gone through something tough, and you guys were so sweet and compassionate and thoughtful in your words towards us. So I thank you for that. Let me show you now what we got from the grocery store. Okay, so here is our little weekly trip. I am sending my husband back out in the snow to get milk, which I feel really bad about, but here's what we got. We got some graham crackers for snacks and lunches. My husband needed some more shampoo. We got some oranges for snacks, breakfast, lunches. All of my laundry soap got ruined in the flood, so we just went and got this. I normally get Drops brand, but I didn't know with the snow how long it would take to get more sent to my house, so we just bought this for insensitive Tide. We got a loaf of this kind of bread. My husband does bake bread, but he's just not sure how much time we're going to have this week to bake, so we bought just a loaf. And then this is some fresh ginger for a couple recipes we're going to make this week, and then some lunch meat. Then my sister, bless her heart, sent these to my house. I was mentioning how a lot of my towels got ruined, and she sent these really pretty washcloths and hand towels to our house as like a little way to bless me. So I'm really excited about that, because you know, you're an adult when you get excited about new hand towels and things like that. So I'm really excited about that. So we spent this week $26.44 plus a gallon of milk, so probably about $30 altogether. And last week we spent about $20 mostly on personal items that we needed that were still at the house that we had to take with us to my parents, and my parents graciously fed us all week. So last week was kind of a weird week, but I'm feeling like we're sticking to the budget despite this horrible circumstance that we're in, and that feels really good. So this is what we got this week. Okay, you guys, thanks so much for watching. I know this is haphazard as I'm sitting on my bedroom floor holding my camera, but Lord willing, like I said, we can get back to normal as the process continues and we get things picked up and, you know, get our lives a little bit more back in order. But I thank you guys so much for sticking with me, for loving me and my family through this. I appreciate you so much, and I will be back with more soon. Take care. Bye.